So this is a movie on my homemade squirrel feeder. Now, the design of the squirrel feeder is such that you don't want the birds to get at it, the magpies and the crows. So what you have to do is you have to build a lid like this that the squirrels can open but the birds can't get at. So what I've got here is a perspex lid at the front and a perspex shelf. And the food, the squirrel food, will go in a container just inside this, sit on that shelf, can be taken out to be cleaned. And the lid here is deliberately designed not to open too far because you want the lid to close once the squirrel's been in. And you don't want it to fly open and all the rest of it. It's also, the lid's lightweight so the squirrel can move it, and it's all made of this perspex, quite expensive perspex that was left over from a garage window I built a few years ago. The actual feeder itself is made from solid oak that I had from some shelves I built, and I've tried to make it blend into a sort of woodland type look with the waney edge. It's all been sanded, of course, and oiled, and the whole construction has been built without any screws of any kind or any nails. It's all been done using dowel pegs. Everything's been done using dowel pegs. Some dowel pegs sitting out the back here. The only time I've used screws was to bolt on this piece of western red cedar at the back, which would help mount it to something, and I cut a curved incision at the back there to let the hinge work freely. So what I've done with this particular piece of construction is I've made it look, I mean, it's an amazing thing. People have said to me, why don't you sell these? Well, the reason is that the materials are about 150 quid, and it took me about 20-30 hours to make it, so you'd be looking at a £300-500 item, and you can buy a cheap squirrel feeder on Amazon for £20 made in China. This obviously is indestructible. It's almost like it's made of cement, it's so strong. But I think it's a beautiful thing, and I'm slightly apprehensive about putting it outside because it's going to get destroyed by the weather, so I'm going to oil it again to give it another coat of protection, and then we'll see. We'll get a small container to go in there. This container's too big, and we'll put our food in that top shelf, and we'll see what happens, see if the squirrels take to it, see how it works. But there we are. A lot of work, but it's a very great thing to make something of high quality. You know, this obviously it all comes apart for cleaning and stuff like that, you know, and yeah, it's rock solid. It's not perfect because I've had to cutting perspex is a particularly difficult thing to do accurately, but you know, there it is. My patented, well, it's not patented, but my patent squirrel feeder, made out of oak, western red cedar, and this perspex stuff costs a fortune. This tinted perspex is about like 50 quid for a square metre. So these are offcuts. Anyway, that's it.